Hi everyone, it's Kirstin Nussgruber here from Kirstin'sCancerCare.com, and thank you for joining me today. I really like to see everyone present here interested in finding out why we should avoid certain products in our cosmetics, in our cleaning products, and why that matters, and which of the top ingredients we should actually avoid. So I'm going to talk about that for about 10 minutes or so and just give you a bit of an idea why this is important and what you should be avoiding at all costs. Something for you to do to take away right away from this chat here, this Facebook Live. And then if you like what you hear, and I hope you do, I'm just going to let you know how you could educate yourself further after this. So from my clients, I hear all the time, why does it matter? We live in a toxic soup. Our modern world is filled with toxins, environmental toxins that we can't avoid. Why should it matter that we take care of certain products? Does it really make a difference? And the answer to that is basically a resounding yes. Why? Well, simply, we have to do whatever it takes to reduce the toxic burden on our bodies. And we generally don't know from the outset how our system can cope with toxicity. So some of us can be highly sensitive, while others can take quite a bit before they would notice anything or before it would actually affect their health. We generally don't quite know where we stand until we get sick. And then very often we still don't know, because this kind of thinking, this kind of mindset is really related to functional medicine, functional integrative approach to our health. So it's one of the puzzle pieces that we look at to figure out how is our body actually responding to the toxic overload and how can it clear itself of the toxins. And that's really where the key is here. So if we are exposing ourselves constantly to levels of toxicity that are even at a very minute level, that builds up in our body. We have what is called bioaccumulation of toxins. Now think about it. The products I'm talking about are cosmetic products that we use on our skin, in our eyes, in our hair. It's also household cleaners that we breathe in, apart from also having contact with the skin, but a lot of it goes into our respiratory tract as well. So if we are using these products on a very regular basis, which all of us do, we are exposing ourselves constantly, and these toxins build up. Now, some of our bodies can deal with that in a better way and can remove the toxins fast, okay, and others don't. So we could have what is so-called a compromised detoxification system. It just means that our organs of detoxification, for example, the liver, the kidneys, even the skin, the lungs, they can't break down the toxins fast enough and eliminate them fast enough. So the toxins accumulate. Now, there are studies out there that have shown the presence of these toxins, and the one group that we can really rely on for validated evidence-based information is called the Breast Cancer Prevention Partners. They were formerly known as the Breast Cancer Fund, and they are basically passionate about just amassing information for you, the public, so that you can make informed decisions. And when it comes to the cosmetics industry, for example, they say that thousands of chemicals that are unregulated in the chemical industry have been shown to also be in use in the manufacturing industry, for example, to clean industrial equipment or to grease gears or to stabilize pesticides. So those same types of chemicals are being reused or repurposed. And when we do a bit of digging, we see that that is kind of a trend that has happened basically since World War II, when a lot of toxic substances were used within the war. Afterwards, they were repurposed, and a ways and means was created to include them in products that we now use often and actually put on ourselves. So that kind of is some sobering information here to realize that. And again, I want to really, for those of you that are still doubting this, are still a little bit skeptical, it really depends how your body can cope with this. And to consider that we are constantly exposed to other environmental pollutants that we don't really control. to the degree that we have this exposure, this is at least something that you can do at home. And I'd like to actually mention a couple of ingredients to you that we need to understand why they are important, why we need to avoid them. And I've got them actually listed in my book here, Confessions of a Cancer Conqueror. So there's a little section in there, and I just want to list them for you because it's important that you understand why this is an issue at all. So some of the ingredients that we really should avoid at all costs, because they have been shown to be linked to cancer development. It's very important. There are studies out there that validate this. For example, there's triclosan, which is classified as a pesticide to prevent bacterial growth and mold growth, but it interferes with hormone production, and it has been found in thyroid tissue and also in breast tumor tissue as well. We have another product that is derived from petroleum, 1,4-dioxane, and that is used to create that sudsing effect. You know, when we use shampoos and we kind of lather it on and it starts bubbling up and we kind of like that feeling, that sudsing effect is caused by a chemical. Now, that chemical is ranked by the International Agency for the Research on Cancer, that is the IARC, as a possible carcinogen. So they know about this. And the National Toxicology Program, the NTP, have also classified this as a so-called anticipated carcinogen. So there's all this kind of terminology that you find when you're doing this research, how, you know, possible carcinogen, anticipated carcinogen, confirmed carcinogen, it doesn't matter. What is important to me as a consumer and as a cancer survivor really is studies are being done. So something is alerting them to the fact that we need to look and investigate further. And sometimes this investigation is still ongoing. However, we can be mindful and we can start making certain decisions. So where do we find the 1,4-dioxane? Because it's not necessarily listed like that in the ingredients labels. Well, in sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, that you can find on a lot of body lotions and a lot of shampoos. That will be listed in the ingredients, and that can potentially have this particular ingredient, 1,4-dioxane. So try and avoid it. Try and avoid products with a sudsing effect and just get used to the fact that more natural products just don't do that, and that's just fine. Parabens. Now, the parabens refer to a group of ingredients that end in paraben. You have methyl paraben, you have butyl paraben, you have ethyl paraben. So there are a couple of parabens out there. They are preservatives as well, and also so-called antimicrobial agents, so that, you know, the ingredients don't get moldy. And they have been found in samples of breast cancer tumor biopsies. So they actually have been identified in breast cancer tissue. They are everywhere. Most conventional products, again, shampoos and lotions and face products and sprays and deodorants sometimes have them. We need to be vigilant. And many products out there now will say paraben free. So watch out for that. Paraben free. That's what we want to focus on. Now comes the tongue twister, Pilates, and that's spelled P-H-T-H-A-L-A-T-E-S. And people generally don't know how to pronounce that, and it took me a while to figure that out as well. So those again are used in fragrances often and in nail polish, and they can mimic estrogen. So if we think about how many breast cancer diagnoses there are, and other cancers as well that are estrogen receptor positive, it's not necessarily related to the estrogen in the body always, but also we have to look at how much estrogen are we exposing ourselves to out there from the environment on a regular basis. And again, these are in products, certain perfumes, certain nail polishes that we really expose ourselves to on a very, very regular basis. And that's the problem, right? Then we have ethylene oxide. Now that's used to counteract the harshness of the sudsing agents, because you introduce the sudsing agents, but then they can become too harsh, so you have to temper it down. And they are also, this particular ingredient, ethylene oxide, is also used to sterilize surgical equipment and instruments. This is officially classified as a human carcinogen. and is one of the 51 chemicals that the National Toxicology Program identifies as mammary carcinogens in animals. So they have proven in animals that it definitely leads to breast cancer and mammary tumors. Food for thought, right? The 1.3 butadiene, that is found in shaving creams and sprays and sunscreens, but also makeup foundations, which all of us use regularly, antifungal treatments as well. And that too has been shown to increase mammary tumors in rats, in lab rats. So one other ingredient that I want to mention, because it just, is very prevalent in us, especially if we do heavy metals testing, it'll show up: lead. Now, lead is also to be found in a lot of cosmetic products, in particular lipstick and nail polish as well, actually in over 650 cosmetic products. It's a proven neurotoxin. So that means it affects your brain, it affects behavior, it also affects reproductive organs, fertility, and birth defects. So we know that. So lead is one of the known heavy metals that causes toxicity, and there's usually a big uproar about that, but not so much that it is actually used in many of the cosmetic products that are to date unregulated. And that's really the key with the cosmetic products here. They are unregulated, so we don't kind of know, and manufacturers don't necessarily need to announce all the ingredients, and there's also certain limitations. If it gets to a certain percentage, they don't need to disclose that information. So when it comes to cleaning products, in a way, it's the same thing. We need to be very vigilant about certain of these ingredients. And one good help there that we do have, if we kind of want to understand what options do we have in terms of cleaning products, what do we do, which products rank in, which products are okay, and how do you rank them amongst each other? We have the Environmental Working Group, the EWG, and they actually have a healthy products guide in which they compare and rank all these cleaning products that we are, in North America at least, are able to buy. It's a very useful database because they show you how they rank it, and it's obviously based on information that is disclosed from the manufacturer. So if certain information isn't disclosed, they can't rank that, but they would mention that. So if you are the manufacturer of a certain product, you kind of want to rank higher in the EWG ranking, so that consumers who are now becoming more and more educated about this tool, that they obviously react favorably and buy your product. So again, EWG, the Environmental Working Group, find them online. They have a healthy products guide, and it's very, very useful in terms of, for you, if you're kind of worried, if you're wondering the products that I currently have, do you have to throw them all out? Because that could be quite costly. Well, some of them I'll say absolutely yes. This is your health that is at stake, and start from scratch. But sometimes you may want to know that some of the products are actually okay to use, and what does the information mean on them? Because a lot of the information can be confusing in the labels and it doesn't tell you much. Well, the EWG has worked very hard to create that educational tool that we kind of can rank the products amongst each other and make that more informed decision. Now, another thing that I have done at home is, if you kind of consider the amount of products that are available to us in the cleaning world, you ask yourself, do I need everything? Do I need a special cleaner for the countertops, for the stainless steel fridge, for the hardwood floor, for the tiled floor? You can buy a product for any of these surfaces. Is that really necessary? What are we trying to do? We're trying to keep them clean and hygienic. We're trying to reduce maybe grime and grit or grease. And for that, we can have certain very basic products that really do that for us. Vinegar, just white distilled vinegar, is one. Baking soda is another. Lemon juice has certain acidity as well. And there is also hydrogen peroxide, which can be used in natural cleaning products if you are that keen on actually putting, combining your own ingredients and making your own products. But the point here is, you may need one or only two products in your household that will do all the cleaning for you. In my instance, for our floors, I don't buy a floor cleaner. I just use the vinegar, and I use pure soap, and I have a certain brand that uses essential oils in it, and that's all you need. That keeps the floor clean, and it keeps it antibacterial and hygienic, and you do that on a regular basis, and you don't have to use hand sanitizers. They're one of the most toxic products that you can use on your body. So if there's one thing, when we are going into the fall here now in the upper parts of the United States, and people are going to start hauling out the hand sanitizers again, please don't. They're incredibly toxic. What you need to do is wash your hands regularly, support your immune system, okay? But the cleaning, the hand sanitizers will do more harm over time than actually to protect you from infection. You can actually make your own hand sanitizers as well. So you can use something called witch hazel. You can buy that in integrated pharmacies. You can actually buy them in tubs with little soaked round cottons, cotton kind of, swabs. Or you buy the liquid and you can put that in together with a little bit of water in a spritz bottle. And that will sanitize, will be antibacterial on its own, and it's clean and healthy and doesn't add to the toxic burden in your bodies that we have to prevent. That is one of the puzzle pieces when it comes to looking after our health and strengthening this body from inside. That's our job. No one can help us with that. And when we get disease and we go to the medical care, that's a stage too late. So we still have, even then, we still have to make that decision. How else can we support the body? And reducing the toxic burden that we're exposed to on a very regular basis is one very, very important step that we need to take. So I hope I've given you some pointers here. It's kind of a topic that expands, and you can talk about it the entire evening. So if you want to hear more about it, you can get my book. So this is available on Amazon, either as a Kindle download or like this in paperback. You can find that if you go to my website, KirstinScancerCare.com. There's a link there in which you can order the book. And if you want to take it even a step further and educate yourself more, then I have an online program called the First Steps to Take Control of Your Cancer Care program. It's an awesome, awesome program that takes you step by step through in a total of 10 steps that you can start with. That includes nutrition, it includes mindset, it includes environmental care, and it includes some emotional self-care as well. So all those little puzzle pieces that are so important that I mentioned in the book, and then delve a little bit deeper in the program, where you can at least start regaining your health and living a vibrant life beyond any diagnosis, and making sure that this body of yours stays strong and creating an environment that isn't hospitable to cancer anymore. So that program, the First Steps program, I'm going to put a link in the comments after this Facebook Live, and there's a link. Have a look there and see. There's more information on it. I'm offering it at 60% off right now. So instead of $497, it is only $197, because I want you to have access to this information. I want you to have tools you can trust, and I want you to have some practical steps that you can implement. There's a 21-day implementation plan to help you step by step start implementing what I'm talking about. So I want you to succeed at this, and it's very important to me, because that's what we need to do. We need to own up, to figure out what do we do, how do we contribute to our own health path, and this is a way that these are the first steps that you can take to be successful at that in the long term. So I hope you enjoyed this, and it was lovely chatting to you, and I'm going to say goodbye for now. Promise to keep it to the length of time that I said. Find the link afterwards in the comment section, and please leave comments and ask me questions. I do always check back in and see what people have to say and respond. It would be nice to have a conversation going, and I'm here for you. This is what the Facebook Live is all about. So take care for now, and I'll chat again to you soon.